Hello, this is Raymond Owenbring from the University of the Bahamas. This is English 119 Online. And today's lecture is all about essay organization and essay introductions. First thing I'm going to talk about is essay organization. This is a model for essay organization that you may have seen before, either in high school or in other college classes, college writing classes that you've taken. Basically, it looks like this. The top paragraph is the introduction. We think of it as this triangle up here. So you start off broad at the beginning of your essay, at the beginning of your introduction, and then you get narrower and narrower and narrower down to a specific thesis statement, which would be at the end of your introductory paragraph. So your thesis statement would be right here. Then, after the thesis statement, you have your body paragraphs. These. I've got 3 here, but it doesn't have to be 3. You may have heard in the past in high school that you have to have 5 paragraphs in your essay. Obviously, when you're writing a longer piece, it's going to have more than 5 paragraphs. The 5-paragraph essay is a model that's taught in high school. But in general, in university, what we're trying to do is to kind of pull back from some of those hard and fast rules that you might have learned in high school. So there are the body paragraphs. In each of the body paragraphs, you provide examples, specific examples to support your thesis. Then in your conclusion, down here at the bottom, you get broader again. Not too broad, but in general, we can think of the conclusion as the so what. What are the broader implications of this? You've talked about this topic. You've written this essay. Who cares? What's the big deal? So when you take a step back and you have your call for action, potentially. We as Bahamians need to do these things or these terrible things will happen. It's when you go back to the big picture. You may have heard in high school that excuse me. You may have heard in high school that you're never supposed to introduce new information in your conclusion. Well, I'm telling you that you can introduce new information in your conclusion because if you're just summarizing what you've said in the essay, that's very boring. And we don't want it to be boring. We want your essay to be interesting. In both your introduction and your conclusion, you'd want to avoid statements like since the beginning of time and since the beginning of time, man has always searched for shelter, or something like that. That's overly broad. When English teachers, professors read that, then they get a chuckle. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to talk more about structuring your introduction.